Okay, so here we are today at the Tsukuba circuit. This is a 2000 full version. This is a 12-turn, 1.27 mile road course, and this is the Weekend Warrior Sunday 40-minute race. Let's do the track reconnaissance thing here. Okay, so coming onto the front straight, we'll go at half speed. You want to use all this area out to the right. You want to carry enough speed where you have to use that area out to the right, basically. Um, Finding a braking point for turn one is not super obvious. Basically, you want to brake a little bit before this crest right here. You can tell it kind of flattens out right before you get to that point. Um, and so it's not completely, some people use a little um, asphalt kind of patch on the left here, but it's a little bit later than that, and there's not, I haven't found a really great marker for this, which is not helpful. Um, but basically around here, you want to kind of straighten out, aim towards the inside of the turn, brake in a straight line, and then get most of your braking done, get your turning in, maybe trail a little bit of brake through here, stay close to that curb and back on the throttle. Uh, as soon as you can straighten out the wheel and be back on the throttle is how you want to do it. You're flat through this turn, and then you have the first chicane here, uh, braking hard on the way in, um, and then kind of keep close to that inside so you can be back on the throttle hard as you straighten out the wheel. Here you can kind of brake a little or uh, just lift off the throttle and back on, use the inside curb, um, and you can run to the outside. People kind of take that turn a slight bit differently, but doesn't seem like there's a lot of time to be lost or gained through there. But you can push a little bit too wide if you get on the throttle a little bit too early. So you got to be careful with that. Breaking down into the second chicane, this one's a bit tougher. Um, Trail brake through here to help get the car to rotate. Back on the throttle as you straighten out the wheel hard. Straighten out the wheel and get back on the throttle hard. And be careful not to spin the tires coming out of there. You want to be on the throttle hard because we have a long run down this little straightaway right here into a long fast turn, and then onto the front straight. And in this lap, we were practicing getting into the pits, and this pit entry lane is really narrow through here. You can carry quite a bit of speed, but there is no margin for error. Um, so kind of playing through the gas and throttle through here, fooling around with it. And then at that line, you got to be at 60 kilometers an hour, 37 miles an hour. So that's how that goes there. Let's go ahead and do a lap at speed. So I think this was a qualifying lap. Missed apex a little bit, by about half a car width.
Sorry. No problem.
Draft helps a little bit, not really that much on this track, but every little bit counts because the track is so short and the times are going to be so close. I think 1 second was the difference in qualifying between first and 35th. So we got a bit of a draft here. The thing is, you don't know exactly how the car in front of you is going to take this turn, and there's a couple options here. Kind of feathering the throttle a bit. Using all the... Didn't really end up using all the throttle on the way out, all the track on the way out. But that's how we go for a lap around here. All right, let's go ahead and jump to the race. So we do a rolling start with this race format. See if we can get to the race here quickly. A lot of laps of practice, a lot of laps of qualifying. Oh, that might have been practice. It was on the wrong. It's not where I thought I was. All right, now we're at the warm up. Oh, we started the race. Okay, so The rolling start, we're about to start. It's a really short warm-up partial lap. We're coming onto the front straightaway right through here. And the race says started. You can hear some collisions going on in front of us, trying to avoid this stuff. Like there's a little bit of impact, but nobody spun off. Some more impacts you can hear. Let's back that up and switch around. We'll go the chase view here. A little more interesting. So we can kind of see what we see going on here. Or we can go maybe cockpit view. See exactly what we see. So to the left, something happened over here, right there.
Wow.
A couple guys got into it there. It looked like McCain and a few others. I didn't quite pick up which cars those were. You can hear that playing with the throttle and tire squealing. I have the tire sounds turned up so I can get a good handle on what's going on with the tires. Again, you hear front kind of sliding, sort of locking up slightly. That gives the car behind me a little bit of a run. You can tell we got a bit of traffic right behind us that we're dealing with there. Kind of a gaggle of cars. Jason Perry had a bit of a problem there. I think we'll see it here. We might have missed it. I think he flipped the car going into the first chicane. Somebody got into him, I think. Try to find a good camera angle here. Maybe we'll stick with camera 2. So we're just sort of settling in. We click off laps pretty quickly here. It's about a minute a lap. Somebody calling him pit out because pit out dumps you right into turn 1, the inside of turn 1, which is the racing line. So both the car coming out of the pits and the cars on the track need to be cautious and be aware. Somebody pointed Kurt Nunez there. So we're getting a little closer to Paul in front of us. Got a little bit of a gap back to the car behind us. I think that might be Flores. So we're trying to reel in. So let's look at that right there. So we were out wide right here. And so we're going 88 miles an hour right there. And so if we back that up slightly and let's see if we can get the same exact spot. Right about here, the car in front of us, Paul Jackson, he's on the track a little bit more, but he's doing 90. So we actually ran out wider, but we're going slower. He's coming onto the straightaway a little bit quicker than we are. So that's kind of interesting. But there's different lines of when you get on the throttle coming out of this turn, and there's not really a lot of visuals to really give you a consistent point to try to be consistent. So it's a lot more of a feel kind of thing. And so that makes it it's hard to be just have that repeatability. when you don't have the visual aids to help you reference. Drifted a little bit wide there in the middle, kind of missed the apex a little bit. Maybe carried a little too much speed on entry. So we are working lap 4 here, slowly closing in on Paul in front of us. Oh, somebody else spun. Let's go on board here if we can quickly. So now we got 2 cars side by side in front of us. Oh, somebody else spun. So we're able to use the traffic as a pick, and we got by Paul with that that traffic there, these lap cars. I think right in front of us is I think Juiced. So he's trying not to lose more spots by battling back hard. He was running up higher in the order and then had spun off there through something. We make the dive up the inside. Having gotten a better exit and run through that second chicane. Or the second hairpin, sorry. We got him sort of to our outside there, I think. Maybe he's behind us. Oh, yeah, he's kind of sort of to our outside. That looked like it was probably pretty close. Should probably back that up and look at that from a different angle. So we're coming down this little backstretch here, and let's switch to chase view. So we got him on our outside. We got this run coming out of the turn where we got a little bit better exit. We drive to the inside, but kind of hold him there. Don't give him too much extra room in. And then got to kind of be gentle, easier on the brake and getting in, because we don't know exactly what the car in front of us is going to do, and we had a car door outside, but we got the car door out or behind us cleared. And so now I expect him to try to dive back on the inside, so I'm kind of protecting the inside here. And it works out. He almost gets to our bumper there. So now I'm protecting the inside again for this upcoming next hairpin right here. So he has momentum. He tries to go around the outside, which is really hard to do through there. So now we basically consolidated the position. He's no longer right on our bumper. He's no longer beside of us. And so now we got a little bit of breathing room. So this is quite fun. I would expect that he's quicker than we are because he qualified better than us. He was farther in front and had spun, so he's, I would expect that he's quicker. But we were able to get by through some mistakes, some hard racing. Clean though. I don't think I touched a single car through this, just using traffic as a pick and to get both of those passes, to get by that red and white car of Paul and to get by Juice there. And now we're starting to work on the car in front of us. Got a bit of a draft here. Tucked up right, kind of underneath on the entry, but then kind of lost a little bit through the middle. And now Juice has a run on us up the inside. So you got to leave enough space for him. Don't want to cut down on him and cause us to spin, because they'll probably only hurt us, and he'd probably continue on. But having held to the inside line for the next turn, we were able to defend the position there. So you can see it's such a tight track that it's hard to get the pass done. You got to be a lot faster, or you need a mistake from the car in front of you, or some aggressive moves in traffic is the other option. So you don't see too many mistakes out of this crew. So if you can hold the inside line, like here, you got kind of a little bit of inside, half a car to the inside, staying to the inside, force him to go around the outside. Like I'm giving up a little bit of speed by not having the optimal line, but I'm protecting that inside line. So uh, that's the way to be kind of defensive about it. A little bit. It's basically just the way you kind of have to drive. Otherwise, you're going to have somebody diving up the inside, and then you're going to have to then really compromise to not have a collision. So we got quite the battle going on here in front of us and behind us. We are very close together. I take a peek. This is not really like I thought I had a move or thought I had the run there, but more to try to spook the driver in front of me, make him think I'm going for it. But because I did that little move, I lost a tiny bit. I lost a tiny bit of momentum, and that was enough to give Juice the run coming out of that turn going down the front straightaway. So let's get a better angle of that. We'll go. All right, we'll use this camera. Um, so we'll go half speed. So we're coming down this back straightaway. I'm kind of close to the car in front of me, not really close enough to make the pass, but I decide, let me go ahead and do a peek out just to kind of dive around in his mirrors, maybe get him to bobble going into this turn. But it sort of messes up my entry, and you can see the car behind me made up a tiny bit of ground, but he's also able to get back on throttle sooner, or he just got back on the throttle sooner, and that gives him a little bit of a run going here. And now I can't really pull to the inside because he's already there. I probably could have for a split second or so, but think about it, we're going half speed right now. Now we're approaching turn one, and cars have spun around. So you got to decide what you're going to do. The car in front of me decides to go to the inside. I decide to go to the outside. Brewster there decides to turn left in a right-hander. And but it all settles back, and we've all kind of maintained our position there. But now we have the other car that spun right in front of us here, in front of the car in front of us. Excuse me, the 219 car, the yellow and black car, slowing down the car right in front of us, and so we're now dealing with that. So let's go back to full speed. This is the other car. The yellow and black car was the other car involved in the turn one incident. So we went three wide for a split second there. So when we look at this, so the 419 car is trying to get by the 219 car in front of him. We'll go half speed. So I see these guys are looking that way, so I go to look on the inside here, but then I see the 419 is, he's also going to make that move. So then I got to back out of it. So then I switch back over to dive back on the inside to not leave the door open behind me, and then that happens. So just aggressive heads up driving of trying to find a way by. And so let's just look at this one last time. We'll go cockpit view, full speed. So fun times. make a move up the inside of the 219 and get that done. I figured that wouldn't be much of a problem there because he had already gotten into it with another car. Um, he had a little bit of damage. I just figured he was not going to try to battle and get into it with another car on the same lap, two turns after or turn after spinning somebody out there. Um, so I felt that was the moment to strike. So now we got juiced, still on our butts. We are working lap 11 here. He's got a pretty good run, but there's kind of not really a place to use it exactly. He dives up the inside. I see it. I got to then sort of react and kind of deal with it. Able to maintain. Another car spins in front of us. We did not slow at all. So you get the call over the radio that somebody spun, or there's a yellow flag in turn 1 or turn 2 or what have you. So you have a little bit of a heads up usually, but you can't always see it until you get there and you're like right on top of it. And then there's, do you even want to lift for it, or do you just want to take the risk of maybe there'll be space when we get there? Because I might lift, but the car behind me might not. So that means either means he's going to pass me or take me out. Uh, kind of a repeat of the last lap, but this time I think he gets it done. He's able to use all the track on the exit. Another car had spun. That was, I think, Samuel Dick had spun there in turn 1. Bottled up the cars right behind us. You might have seen a little bit of smoke there. That was tire smoke of somebody in front of us locking it up a little bit on the entry into that. Here I'm just drafting, just following exactly behind the car in front of me. It's probably worth about 1/10 of a second, maybe.
I tried to avoid you, man.
Got into one pretty good that time.
Got a lot of damage in the back.
Closed up a lot on the entry to one, but then kind of lost it on the exit to one. That whatever space we'd gained, a car length or two. So we're on lap 14 here.
Thanks for letting me know, man.
We both missed the apex there, kind of late apexed it. I wasn't sure if he was going to the pits there or what, but he was just trying to break the draft. That's what that move was. I didn't know at the time. I thought he was going to the pits, so that's why I didn't follow. But now I learn. If he does that again, I'll probably go follow him a bit, just to keep the draft. And oh, another. So let's back this one up a little bit. Somebody lost it going through exiting turn 1. We'll go far chase. All right, so we're coming around here. Actually, let's go onboard first. We'll go cockpit view, full speed. Split second to make a decision. I decided to go to the left. Apparently that was not the greatest decision. So let's back that up a little bit. You have a very short amount of time to make this call. Um, I don't remember when the call came over the radio about the car spinning, but you can see we kind of straight lined it a bit more, heading closer to the inside of the track on entry. Juice is kind of farther to the outside, and kind of we're kind of going to early apex it here, and he's going to kind of late apex it, or get sort of the middle of the apex there. Um, all right. So he's already lined up for more for the inside. So yeah, he could slow down, um, but we're racing, and I thought I had space. It looked like he was right here. I see the car pointing to the right side of the track, and so I think he's probably going to go right. Um, but as we roll through, he yanks it to the left. He kind of straightens out, and I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe he's going to hold his line. Oh no, he's going to, for some reason, go to the left. And so we squeeze by on the outside here, but then we run out of curb to run on. So now we're into the grass. So that's what happened there. Um, might be interesting to see it from his point of view. Um, okay, so he's coming in. He loses it by himself. All right, let's jump ahead. So now we're running. We've messed up our entry into this turn a little bit. Locked up the wheel, locked up a tire on the inside, drifted wide, missed the apex, but we're able to maintain. Late apex that turn there. That was pretty good. We're working lap 15 right now. About to start lap 16. Oh, way wide. Missed the entry on that by a mile, or just really late apex. Kind of a car width off the apex on. Trying to run down Juice again. We had gotten spread out a little bit with getting around this blue and white car behind us. This is Brian Short behind us there. Oh, got a tire off of the grass there. Using a little bit, pushing a little too much on the exit there. So the pit window is open. It opened about 10 minutes into the race, which was about, I think it was 10 minutes into the race, about lap 10. Oh, rear end stepped out there, but we're able to control it. Let's look at that real quick. That was a moment for sure. At least it looked like it was. Let's watch the hands. We'll go through here half speed. Turning left, going through a left-hand turn. All good. Oh, crap. Turning right, turning right, turning right. Saved it. Uh, so that was a Code Brown moment there. Um, you can see the car behind us made up a little bit of ground with that bobble. Cars coming out of the pits right there. You can see the luckily, we got just in front of them. If they would come out half a second earlier, that would have completely compromised your entry into one. It flattens out more on the outside there, so you actually have to brake about the same spot, even though you're going to take a farther outside line, when normally you can brake a little bit later if you're coming in on the outside. So it's a very tricky turn to go too wide into. You can easily run wide. If you're on the outside, it's real easy to lock up the tire and run a little bit wider. That's why you see a lot of people try to get the move done before getting there. It's a good spot to pass, but also can be quite dangerous, especially for the car on the outside. All right, let's go ahead and pause it here. All right, so we're back again. Had a slight pause in the middle there. So we are working lap 19. Trying a slightly wider entry into a later apex on that turn coming onto the front straightaway. Hanging out a little bit wider and then trying to get towards the inside curb later. And right there we lose it. So this caught me out. I did not expect this. I didn't feel like I ran really any wider or much wider than I did any previous lap. Let's go really slowly here. And this is the first time I've looked at this. Actually, my tires are on the curb. I didn't think I went any wider than the edge of the curb. And oh, we got maybe a third of the tire or something. Uh, just that outside edge where the curb, maybe it flattens out a little bit right there. You see there's a lot of rubber here, and then there's not much rubber here, so maybe only half the inside half of the right rear is maybe touching there. But once it started going out, it got farther away from us there. Um, it's already losing it. And you can tell from this angle, it doesn't really look like we came off the curbing. This is like looks like concrete over here. Maybe gravel, but it looks like kind of like concrete. Um, so, uh, but once it got away from us, just along for the ride at that point. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I didn't expect that. I'm just locking it up, getting on the brake as hard as I can right here, quick as I can. Catches these boxes over here. Luckily, kind of throws us back, going the right direction, and we get back going again. Our pit window is open. I don't know how damaged the car is at this point, so I'm just trying to stay offline. But as the line moves around, um, luckily it didn't get run over. Again, trying to stay wide, just trying to stay consistently on the left side of the track, not to get because I had these cars coming through. So I decided to go ahead and make the pit stop because we could get an instant repair for our damage once in the race. Trying not to overshoot it here. I didn't push too hard on entry because I wasn't sure how well the car was going to turn right at speed. Uh, So we go into the pits, get the instant repair for the damage, and trying to keep under pit lane because I don't have a button. It doesn't automatically do the pit speed limiter here, and then taking all the fuel that we need for our pit stop. So this is lap 21. And you can tell there's some people wadding it up on this lap out right there. That was Austin Winter, a 33 car, who was running like I think second or third at the time, lost it there. So there was some chaos there on the lap, um, on that particular lap. On the front straight in turn one. So now just trying to get back in the groove um, of things with our timing stuff and um, get back going again. At this point, we are running in 26th spot. It's reporting right now, 27th spot. It just updated. We'll see where we are when we cross the line. During pit stops, the it's really hard to keep track of where you are in the running order because things are changing so much. So now we're running 29th, it says. I flashed 31st for a second. Um, so kind of talked over that part there. Um, the This 920 car, the yellow and bluish, got to our inside here, and then behind him, Samuel Dick in the 119 car. Um, they sort of freight trained us there. The 920 got to the inside, and the 119 went ahead and took advantage. Um, I had to leave. He was hitting my inside, so I had to leave space, but then left a little bit too much, kind of overcooked my braking a little bit. Um, because the track kind of flattens out, so you really can't get slowed down that well. So two cars ended up getting by on that. So that's what happened there. So now trying to slot back in to not lose another spot. I missed the apex a little bit there, going through that last hairpin. Still losing time going through that final turn onto the front straight. You can see this car gets to my inside here. I didn't get through there very well. Um, and he locks it up under braking, kind of runs
257
out.
pitting out, 257 pitting out.
He ran out a little bit wide on entry. Let's look at that from a different angle where we can see it a little better. Um, so this is Bradshaw here. So we'll go to chase view, uh, maybe far chase. Okay, so he gets a run up the inside. It's fine. Locks up braking, so he runs a bit wide. I just try to tuck in behind and get back onto the throttle.
257 pitting out.
So that's what happened. That was looked a little close there as well. Looked like the blue and red car looked like he was having a moment there in the first hairpin. Which maybe he did his pit stop and came out and maybe missed the weight of the car changes because you got more fuel being added in, and so that extends your braking distance a little bit. It's not a lot, but it's definitely enough to that can cause you to miss an apex by a meter, meter and a half. So now I'm trying to close it back in. Uh, we've lost a little bit of space to, a little bit of time on the track to Bradshaw in front of us. Trying to run him back down. We ran a bit wide on there. Um, just missed the apex a bit there. We should have been closer to the inside. Oh, these guys are getting into it in front of us. We've got some opportunities here. I think Samuel Dick sort of messed up his entry or his exit there in the middle of the hairpin. And so now we got him sort of stacked up in front of us, trying to take advantage. Again, trying to use traffic as a bit of a pick to get a position. This is definitely a risky thing. It's a risk reward kind of scenario, um, especially when you're further back in line. Anybody in front of you makes a mistake, it's either opportunity to get by or something you got to somehow avoid, not get collected in. Oops, somebody else went off there. That cost us a tiny bit on the exit of that turn, having to keep a tighter line. But in the draft here, we should make that time right back up and get sucked right back up on the back of these guys. There's some people pitting now. Oh, uh, now that other car went into the pit, so I don't know what his issue was before, but he's pitting now. That beeping you hear, that it's like a warning alarm kind of thing, letting people know somebody's on the pit lane. Um, it's not really necessary in iRacing, but it's a real life thing. I think it's to let the crews know, heads up, there's a car coming down pit lane, so they don't get hit or run over or just walk around blindly not knowing there's a car sneaking up behind them. So we're definitely driving hard at this point. I feel like I was driving hard the whole time, but especially in a situation like this where we got so many cars kind of close together, you want to push as hard as you can to try to make something happen. And uh, they drifted out all the way wide, almost got into the dirt there. And then try not to overshoot turn one. It's really easy to do. You see the car in front of me locked up, brake a little bit. That the white smoke was tire smoke. Oh, we got off onto the dirt a little bit. Cost us a tiny bit of speed on exit. Diving in deep on these turns, doing a bit of trail braking on the longer turns, meaning dragging like a little bit of brake farther deeper into the turn to help the rear end of the car rotate around.
I'll let you guys buy on turn one.
Also, during the time of pit stops is the best time to put in your fastest laps because you can make up ground on those people that are pitting. And then since they're in the pit lane and not on the track, it's the easiest time to do that. The best time to do it. But to be honest, I wasn't thinking about that at this point in the race. I was just trying to get by the car in front of me, trying to get close enough to be able to make a move. So right now we're working lap 28. Let's switch to the far chase view here for a bit. You see a little bit of lines going through this turn here. The car kind of wiggle a little bit, getting back on the throttle. Close up a lot under braking going into one. But if you push it too much there, you go over the line, you can lose a lot of time. And you push it a tiny bit further than that, um, you're going to be off into those boxes on the outside. So uh, it's risky.
Pitting out.
You might hear comments of people saying pitting out or pitting in. They're letting the cars know that they're about to come out or about to go in. So if somebody's right on their tail on the way in, they know, don't try to draft me. I'm all the way into the pit lane, or I'm going to hit the brakes in a second. And then on pit out, they're letting cars know that are coming down the straightaway right now that there's a car that's about to come out of the pit lane. So pick your line and your braking accordingly to leave space on the inside if there's going to be a car coming out. Uh, just give them a little bit of an extra heads up. There's 48 cars in the race, so that's a lot of pit stops. 48 cars doing at least one stop. Some people have an incident, might have to do two or more. So this is about how it ended up. I'm not sure there was any. Oh, Bradshaw in front of us there had a little bit of a mistake there. So we're able to close up a little bit more on him. Dive to the inside. And he kind of clips, almost cuts down on us there. So I had to kind of lift a little bit, I believe, coming through here. So if we watch this in chase view here so we can see this here, we'll go half speed. Uh, it kind of pulls down a little bit. I'm like playing with the gas and the brake and kind of squeezes down a little bit more again, which is totally fine. He's in front. We're not yet beside him, but like it's unclear where if I can keep my foot in or not. Is he going to continue cutting down, or is he going to move back out a little bit wider? So then we go for the outside move because that was the only possibility kind of there. I felt uh, trying to use our momentum, and he's able to defend. So now, so uh, I, I definitely had the bit between the teeth here and was going for it. Um, so we're going through here normal line. We go quarter speed. Normal line here. I decide enough of this. I look a little bit right, which is the normal line I go over those curbs. He definitely goes right, which is the normal line to go. So I dive back to the inside and just chuck it up the inside. And so I'm not, I throw it over the curb here. Still got to get some of my braking done. I'm still like 20%, 25% on the brakes here at this point. Um, but there's a little bit of, I don't know, anger, frustration, a little bit here in this of like, okay, I got pushed wide a little bit uh, on the last turn. On the previous turn, I got cut down on a little bit. Um, I'm just going to go ahead and stuff it in here, and he can give way a little bit. It's been a bit of give and take. I've been giving a couple times. Now I'm going to take a little bit. Was my thought here, and so I stuffed it up the inside, and so um, that's what it was. I pay a little bit of penalty on exit by doing that. So now he had a more of a racing line going through there, and so his exit is going to be a little bit faster. But we're in front. We have the track position now, So even though he's going to be going a little bit faster right here, and if we switch cars, so I'm going 67 miles an hour right here, and he's doing 66, but he's a little bit behind us. So when he gets to the point where we are, he's probably already going to be doing like 68 or something. So he has a little bit more momentum than we do at this point. You can probably see it best from this view. Or maybe let's use this view and maybe we'll back up again just so we can see that. So I locked up the rears a little bit on entry, like with that. So there's a little bit of momentum. Now I got to slow down a little bit more to make that tight turn, and I still left space for him on that side because I didn't. I should have dove in a little deeper there, but now I got the inside going in here. So now we're back at it. So now it's a choose your line carefully kind of deal. I left less than a car width on the outside, just slightly less. So he was tempted to go to the outside, but then he realized there wasn't enough space. But by that point, he had lost his momentum. So now he dives back to the inside. We're trying to hang tough around the outside because if we can do it, that lines us up for the inside going into the hairpin. And we got a little bit of a shoulder check there. We can see that when we touch here, just to so I don't know. It was incidental, but I don't think I could really give any more. Um, I don't know. Yeah, it's incidental. But what are you gonna do? Um, no harm, no foul. Get the braking done as cleanly as possible. Back on it. Again, he gets a little bit better exit out of there. Gives us a little punt in the corner there. Another incidental contact didn't really affect us. So you can see something a little bit there. Uh, it's kind of minor, but um, I think it's an interesting point. So if you watch the line here that I'm taking, uh, I'm about half a car width off the left side. But as we approach this turn, I'm going to swing left and then go right. And so this is like a just a slight amount. And so what I'm trying to do is load up the left side suspension. It's called faint motion. The rally drivers use it, and you see some of the Formula One drivers from Iceland, like Raikkonen and Hakkinen, use it, where it's you're loading up that outside suspension right before you go into a turn, so that it grips a little better and it's tensed up on the entry. And just trying to use whatever I could to get through that turn a little bit better because I know that was a weak spot for me. Anyway, he gets a run up the inside here and pulls it off. So we're working lap 33 here. And I think we're going to leave it there. I don't think anything else kind of that interesting happened. Uh, I think I kept trying to challenge here, but I think we finished basically in this order. I wasn't able to get by, and I lost 2 spots on the last lap as I ran out of fuel and limped it to the line. I think there might be a couple, maybe another close call or two with the traffic here. fast forward here and see if anything interesting happens. Oh, here's a leader coming by. Maybe we'll back that up. This is Nam, who's in the lead right now, coming up behind us. So here's the leader. Here's second place as they're running right now. Um, Second position, I should say. Uh, so I saw him coming. I was just trying to. I was in a battle of my own, and Hero gets through the turn on the straightaway. Uh, Even on the inside, gets through there really quick. Um, Foreign's Arabian's coming up now. I'm trying to find a place to get out of the way. I don't want to affect their race, but I also got my own race going on. I go wide here. Just I took a wide entry on purpose, just to try to find a spot to let him by. Uh, so that's 1 and 2 gone by. We're now a lap down. Now they're getting by the car in front of me. Um, I wish I would have been able to stay a little bit closer to to Foreign's there, because then I could have maybe used the freight train to help get by Bradshaw, but wasn't close enough to do that. These guys are trying hard. Well, I think somebody made a mistake there, because we got I think Paul Jackson is right in front of Bradshaw in front of us. Maybe we'll switch around to cockpit view, see what we see. Maybe chase. So now these are for position, the two cars in front of us. Hitting that inside curb really upsets the car. I had to tap the brake really late. Um, the car just wasn't turning enough there, and we drifted a bit wide. Um, just couldn't get the car slowed down enough. Overshot it, and so we're working lap 37 here, and guys in front of us are, I think, still battling a bit, maybe. So right now we're running 24th. Um, let's go ahead and jump ahead a lap. Still 24th, ahead another lap. Okay, so we'll jump back to lap 39. So I'm really concerned about fuel at this point. This is going to be the last lap. We took the white flag. My crew chief was telling me to pit on that previous lap, that we're really low on fuel, but I stayed out anyway because I knew it was the white flag lap, or I thought it was going to be the white flag lap. Pitting would have cost me about 25 seconds, 20 seconds or so. So right here, the cars are sputtering. It had already started to sputter, so I'm trying to stay out of the way, but still keep it rolling because the car is sputtering, and we're losing spots. You can hear the engine kind of cutting out, coming back on, cutting out, coming on. We're just out of fuel, so I'm just watching the mirrors to see when these cars are coming. It's just sputtering. And we roll across the line. I think we lost another spot or two, so we finished 26th. So that was our race, and uh, lap times. Fastest lap was lap 8. 101.022, and a lot of laps in the 101s. A couple slower ones here. This is our pit stop, the lap that we made a mistake on, where we spun, and then we came to the pit at the end of that lap, and then we started this lap from the pit lane, uh, so get taken off again. And then this last lap, 109, where we're out of fuel. So we lost 8 seconds on that last lap. Uh, cool. Thanks for watching.